Okay, well, I guess that's a good thing. You know why? Because now we're not going to have any of that drama on here. So it's a new stream, guys. Sorry, I don't know what happened with the other one, but it was fucking nuts. So we're just going to do this one. Let me set up this damn phone. There we go. Hey, guys. Welcome back to my channel. I don't know what's going on, but it's like really rainy here, so the stream was screwing up. So I thought I'd get on my phone that's a little bit more clear for you guys and go ahead and start over. Hey, Sam. So today we're going to talk about resentments and forgiveness, you guys. So forgiveness is really important to addicts and alcoholics like us because carrying resentments with us is deadly. It's the #1 offender, and resentments keep us sick. So I'm going to go ahead, like I was before, and we're going to get into reading out of the big book a little bit about resentments, and then I'll talk to you guys and share some of my experience with y'all, okay? So I was looking at it on Google because it's easier for me to read it. What are you saying? Oh, hey, Dan. Okay. Okay, so resentments are toxic to our inner lives. Okay? Resentment is the #1 offender. It destroys more alcoholics and addicts than anything else. This gets to the heart of resentment. So, here we go. I'm going to read the 12 steps without. So, I'm going to kind of go through this with you guys, and then I'll upload this stream. So, I'm not going to look at the comments right now. I'm just going to kind of talk to you guys, and then when I get done, we'll go back to the comments. So the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous includes the story of a woman whose drinking landed her in jail twice and nearly ruined her 3rd marriage. Her final drunk, she recalls, lasted 60 days, around the clock. It was my intention, literally, to drink myself to death, she said. Joining AA saved her life, largely because it helped her overcome the habit of resentment. This woman wrote that self-pity and resentment were my constant companions. Sam, I want you to listen to this, okay? For I seemed to have resentment against everybody I had ever known. Moreover, the only people who would support this attitude or whom I felt understood me at all were the people I met in bars and the ones who drank as I did. AA recognizes that resentment is toxic to our inner lives. The case is plainly stated in the big book. Resentment is the #1 offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. A person mirrored in resentment has scant chances of recovering from addiction. So you don't have really any chances if you are just piling resentments up and up and up to recover. And remember that many forms of addiction left unchecked are fatal. It's revealing to look at the word itself. Resentment is close to resentiment. Sentiment meaning feeling, and meaning again. So resentment is literally feeling again. So it's like feeling those negative behaviors, feeling that somebody slighted you or somebody made fun of you over and over and over again, and just playing it over and over and over. This gets to the heart of resentment, recycling old negative feelings or revisiting old wrongs done to us by others, and just going back and revisiting those old harms. Maybe when you were younger, your dad worked a whole bunch, so he didn't take you to your basketball game like you wanted him to, and instead of forgiving him for that and moving on, my dad never spent enough time with me. There's all kinds of things I can think of that I held resentments in as a young girl. Like, there was these girls that used to make fun of me when I was little. And okay, I'm going to share a story. This is one of my personal experiences. Sorry, guys, that stream was messed up. This one's better, though. So when I was in high school, it was like 9th grade. I lost a bunch of weight, and a lot of the boys started to show interest in me. And so I had a lot of guys kind of checking me out and stuff. So some of the girls were really angry at me, right? And I was a cheerleader and all that kind of stuff, so I was kind of getting popular. Well, there was this girl named Maria, and she did not like me. She wanted to fight me. So when I was younger, she would make fun of me in front of all the other girls, and she would get other girls to come and make fun of me too, like just saying stuff about my, like just making fun of me. And so one day when I was on my way to school, or when I was on my way to class and I was in the hallway, she threw me up against my locker and like cussed me out and like pushed me, and it was just a whole big deal, right? And so being a ninth grader, I was kind of like wanted to fight her, but I was like, what do I do, you know? And so I remember I hated that girl until I literally just forgave her last year, because I went through my 4th step with my sponsor and like prayed about it and let it go. I finally let it go. But I hated that girl for years. Every time I would see her in my hometown when I go back for Christmas, or see a picture of her on Facebook or anything like that, because we grew up in the same town, I would just hate her, despised her, you know, and cussed her name. And me carrying that resentment all those years, all that hatred I had for her, she didn't know. It didn't do nothing to her. She was living her best life, living rent-free in my head. Y'all see why I'm talking about resentments? Because people can hurt you, they can do wrong to you, but me carrying that around for the rest of my life, me mulling that over, playing it over and over and over and over again, right, Carrie? It was only hurting me. It never hurt her. She was living her best life. So like, I got done dirty yesterday by those people. I could sit here, I could make stream after stream after stream about them. I could sit here and talk about how they were trolling me and how they keep making accounts. Or I can come up here and we can use that situation as a learning experience. I forgive them. I'm going to pray for them, and I want them to get all the things that they need for Christmas. I want them to have a great life. You know why? Because forgiveness is key, and it's not for them, it's for me. And I'm free. I am free from that. I don't have to worry about that. You know, I don't want to sit here hating, or today I can do that. Today I can say, you know what? You must have something going on in your life, because I forgive you. I forgive you. And it feels good. It feels good to say that, because you know what? It puts me in control. I'm in control. It is hard. It is hard, Sam. I know. It is. And it's taken me a long time to get to the point where, you know what? I almost feel sorry for people that want to be like that. Because it's like, wow, there must be something going on that I don't see. You know? I used to get anxiety because sometimes it would take a while for you to, right. And it's like when we harbor those resentments, Matt, and we just like, for instance, with me hating that girl for all those years, from 9th grade, all the way till I was 30-something. Every time I would see her, anytime, I mean, it was so bad, you guys. It would make me sick. And that's what resentments do. They fester inside of us like an infection. And then it spreads all over to the other parts of our mind, you know, and it makes a bad day. Like, I don't want to carry that shit. Okay, so here we go. It's as if each of the offending incidents is captured on videotapes in our minds. Resentment, in fact, is mentally replaying the scene countless times each day. As we do so, real wrongs grow worse, and wrongs that are merely imagined assume a life of their own. This mental habit extracts tremendous costs. After all, resentment does nothing to change the person we resent, nor does it resolve conflict. Instead of freeing us from the wrongs of others, resentment allows those people to dominate our thinking, a kind of emotional bondage. Fortunately, the 12 steps of AA give us practical tools to diffuse resentment, such as. So, here are some tools that we can all practice if you're struggling with resentments, whether they're like resentments like I had to a girl from high school, or if it's a big resentment. Maybe it's, you know, something that you were affected as when you were a young child. Maybe it's with your parents or a loved one, significant other. Here are some things that we can do to work on those resentments. Describe resentments in writing. We can note the person we resent, the action that offends us, and how it has affected our life. So this is just like what you do when you're doing a 4th step. You write down the person that you resent, the action. Okay, so I resented Maria for making fun of me in high school. And what part of my life did that affect? And this is where it gets tricky. You have a social, you have a sexual, you have a, these are all your instincts. Social instinct, sexual instinct, oh God, not financial, but it's like your money. These are all the different instincts, and they label them in the big book, and that's how you know. So that instinct that affected me was my self-esteem. So it was my social instinct. Okay, so okay, resentments seem huge and powerful when they're in your head, notes the author. But once they're down on paper, they no longer seem so huge or powerful. In fact, on paper, a lot of resentments look downright... Sorry, guys. Are y'all okay? I took my Wi-Fi off and just put my data on. Fuck it. So writing them down, writing our resentments down on paper, it's like you get to see it. Like, I resent Susie Q for making fun of me in high school, and I'm 36 years old. Like, you know what I'm saying? It makes the resentment kind of like seem like, wow, like I'm holding all this pent up like aggression and hurt and emotion inside of me over a girl that made fun of me in high school. Like, do you see what I'm saying? When we can put those resentments down on paper, look at them and realize, like, hey, I don't have to feel this way anymore, and I want to and that's the thing, like, sometimes I don't want to forgive people. Sometimes I'm pissed. And sometimes I like to wallow in my resentments and carry them around and fucking be pissed. But then when I think about it and I look around, I see how it's affecting my family. I see how it's affecting my husband. It's like, nah, I'll let it go. These are the very same resentments that seemed completely reasonable and justified and powerful while they were in our heads. But now that they're on paper, it kind of like takes that power away, you know? Look at your role in the resentment. Okay, so let's look at my part. The big book asks us to examine the original incident that fueled our resentment and ask, did I do anything to cause the situation or make it worse? So I try to look at my part. And so, for instance, like with people that, like with the trolls and stuff, have I done something to this person that makes them want to attack me? Have I, you know, and I try to make sure, like, have I been kind? Have I been generous? Have I been open-minded? And I check myself kind of down a checklist. You know, did I do something to instigate it? So it says, the big book asks us to examine the original incident. If we're honest, the answer will often be yes. So did I do anything to cause the situation to be worse? And a lot of the times what we'll do is do that back and forth. And so like right now, like I'm just stopping. I'm like not going to go back and forth, you know? So legend says, so how do you? Because I try, but it feels fake. Even if I truly want to, that sheer surges through me so quick, even on my best days. Oh. So how do you, let go of that resentment? Oh, hey, Bobby. So here's the deal. So you can write the resentment down, okay? And if it's a resentment towards somebody, like it usually is, in the beginning it told us to pray for that person for 2 weeks. And you pray for that person to get everything that you want in your life for yourself. You pray for that for them for 2 weeks. And even though when you first start out, you don't want to pray for them. You wish they would drop dead probably. But you pray for them anyway. And I promise you, in 2 weeks, the resentment will be gone. Be willing to live without resentment. People can get a perverse satisfaction in feeding their resentments. Many times, the only thing that keeps us from being free of resentment is the fear of being without them. Pray for the person you resent. Here it is. The woman quoted above in the big book discovered another way to end her most deep-seated resentment. If you have a resentment you want to be free of, if you will just pray for that person or the thing that you resent, you will be free. If you will ask in prayer for everything you want for yourself to be given to them, you will be free. Ask for their health, their prosperity, and their happiness, and you will be free. Do this, she adds, even if such a prayer seems like mere words at first. Try it every day for 2 weeks, and you will come to mean it. This technique literally squeezes resentments out of our minds because positive concern and resentment simply cannot coexist. She puts the same idea in other words. AA has taught me that I will have peace of mind in exact proportion to the peace of mind I bring into the lives of other people. So, I have peace of mind, and it's directly proportionate to the peace of mind that I bring to other people. Like, if I'm trying to do good things and I'm trying to help others, I feel this, like, relief. I feel this, like, I'm light. Hey, Captain. I don't feel like I don't have negativity and all that sickness inside of me. You guys, negativity keeps us sick. Hatred keeps us sick. And the best thing to do is just to pray for that person and move on. Resentment does nothing to change the person we resent, nor does it resolve conflict. I love this. So let's read. I love talking to you guys. And, you know, for instance, okay, here, let me tell you another story, Sam, about resentment. Okay, so when my son got taken away from me, he got taken from me because my best friend called DHS on me. All right? And for many, many years, I resented her. I hated her. And I would think I would be driving in my vehicle, and I would think I saw her car, and I would flip her off. Or me and my husband would be driving, and he would go, "Is that fat bitch?" And we would flip her off together. And we hated her. We hated her. Well, I started working the 12 steps with my sponsor, and we got through our step 4, and I wrote her down, and I said all my prayers for her and all that. But, you know, I just did what I had to do to get through it. I didn't really mean it. Well, then one day I was at work, and there she was. And I don't know what happened to me, but something just came over me. Just came over me. And I walked up to her and I told her, I said, "I forgive you. I forgive you." And then I walked off and I cried my eyes out in the bathroom. But I forgave her and I let go of all that hate I had for her for turning me into DHS. And now I look at it and I'm thankful and I'm grateful because now I have my son. We're healthy, we're happy, and I'm sober. And I wasn't like that before, you know? But I hated her. I was so mad. Every time I would drive, I'm serious, you guys, anytime I thought I saw her, anger flooded my whole body. For the longest time, I would shake just thinking about it. And when I saw her standing in my job that one day, I thought, I'm going to fight this bitch. And then I just walked up to her and told her, "I forgive you. I forgive you." You can ask her. And when I told my sponsor about that, she cried her eyes out and she was like, "I am so proud of you. You're doing it. This is what it's about." Like, you guys, yeah, she called DHS on me. Yeah, I got my son taken away. Yeah, I was fucked up on drugs, but she was supposed to be my best friend. I didn't think she'd do that shit to me, you know what I'm saying? But, now I see it was the best thing that could have happened to me. And you know what? I used that situation that could have been a fucked up situation and I could have hated her guts for the rest of my life as a situation to grow and learn from it. I take my adversity, I fucking wrap that shit up in a nice bow and throw it right back. Because I'm going to grow from my situation. I'm not going to let my past own me. I'm going to take it and I'm going to own it. And I'm going to grow from it. I'm going to use my experience to help others. When a person offended, we said to ourselves, "This is a sick man. How can I be helpful to him? God save me from being angry. Thy will be done." So forgiveness for our past behaviors. Step 4 looks at our behaviors. So this is what I was talking about before, our behaviors. Yeah! You know what I mean? And it was almost like, when I just said, I forgive you, it was like, I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, I just could not, like, yeah, it hurt me. It hurt me, but I cannot hate that. It just like, I was done. Like, I had went through that, like, hate, all that negative, those negative feelings, those thoughts, those emotions, all the ups and downs. I had gone through that, and I just couldn't, I was done doing it. Like you said, I wanted my power back, and I was giving so much of it by having all those negative thoughts and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making sense, but I hope I am. So step 4 looks at our past behaviors. We find out things about ourselves that we have been inclined to beat ourselves up about. We have drunk to subdue the resultant emotional disturbance we feel. To rid ourselves of our own guilt, we need only forgive others whenever we feel resentful to them. This is an ancient and miraculous practice. To rid ourselves of our own guilt, we need only forgive others when we feel resentment to them. This is an ancient miraculous practice. A shortcut. So here's a shortcut to serenity. It says, in the Lord's Prayer, he describes the method of forgiveness. In looking at the clause, forgiveness of our trespasses, he concludes that the act of praying for the others, as described above, needs only be done once for each person or resentment. Thereafter, if that resentment resurfaces, we can skip the whole resentment release process, bless the offender briefly, and remind ourselves that we have already freed ourselves from the issue. For complete serenity, Fox says, we must positively and definitely extend forgiveness to everyone to whom it is possible that we can owe forgiveness, namely, to anyone who we think can have injured us in any way. He left a business card on my door because the kids' school called interview and lied my ass off, and we were going to get away with it, and my husband called the social worker and spilled his guts. Just now? Okay, April. Well, you know what? And so what? But don't, Captain, since he spilled his guts, I bet you he felt like he needed to do that, and that probably gave him peace of mind. You know what I mean? Page 67 of the book, Alcoholics Anonymous states, resentment is the #1 offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. Okay. Listen to this. States that fear was an evil and corroding thread. The fabric of our lives was short through with it. It set in motion trains of circumstances which brought us misfortune that we felt we didn't deserve. But did not we ourselves set the ball in rolling? Sometimes we think fear ought to be classed with stealing. It seems to cause more trouble. So a lot of the times when we have some kind of like chaos or drama going on in our lives, it's because we kind of set that ball rolling, kind of started the whole situation. And so that's why, like, I have to check my motives a lot, you guys, a lot, especially doing live streams on here with you guys. Like, I'm only trying to help you guys, and I'm only trying to use this platform as a form of support in my recovery, and I hope you guys know that. I'm always checking my motives. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's growth. That's awesome. Choosing love and trust as an antidote to resentment. Anyway, I know resentment can feel like it's never going to end, especially when you're in the heat of it, like when you're in the thick of it. But like Carrie was saying up above, when we allow those emotions and that negativity to overtake us, it almost like consumes our daily life. You know, it takes a lot of energy to be mad at somebody. You know, it takes a lot of energy to hate someone. Today, I would rather forgive them. Let go and let God, you know. We're all going to pay for how we treat other people eventually. You know what I mean? Like, making amends. I told him all the things that I really did appreciate about him when we were married and the qualities in him that I admire. My openness invited openness on his part, and he shared things about me that were loving as well. When I left lunch that day, I felt I had completed something that heretofore had been incomplete, and it felt wonderful. If you cannot actually meet with people on your list, do it in your mind. Talk to them as if they were sitting in front of you and tell them what you want to say. Heal the relationship within yourself. We need to get rid of pain and anger before we can bring in love. When we hold negative feelings about people in our past, we carry those feelings to those in our present. Not only that, but we can make ourselves physically ill, as some of you may have already experienced. An excellent book to read on the subject of healing your body and mind is You Can Heal Your Life, Louise Hayes. She has many exercises that will help you release the anger, pain, and resentment that you may be carrying around with you. So, like I said, resentment will make you sick. That negativity, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. To the point that I felt I had the right to hope they never prosper in life. And yet, listen, April, I have felt that same way before. Like, I have been so hurt by people. But just like I was saying, okay, for instance, with the girl from high school, I was really hurt by her. But, you know how we have to look at our behavior, and did I set that ball rolling? So let me tell you guys the story. So when I was a young girl, and I lost all that weight, I was about 17, 16, started looking fine as a glass of wine. I went to a party, right? And it was like 17 years old, and I didn't have a boyfriend. I was single. I went to a party, right? And there was this boy there named Joel. Oh, you guys, he was so cute. He was a class clown. Well, Joel was this Maria girl's, like, she had a crush on him. And I knew that. But what did I do? I kissed him at the party. So that's why she came trying to fight me, because she was jealous because I kissed her crush at the party. You know, and so what I should have done was been more, you know, more aware and not done that, because even though they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend, she liked him, and I knew that, you know, and so that's why she came after me. So that resentment I had towards her, you know, I kind of put that whole ball rolling because I kissed her crush. See? And so if we can look back into it, we can, you know, see that a lot of the times when we have a resentment against somebody, we put that whole ball rolling. Hey, Jen. Right. And so, like with Jeffree Star, he's not a bad person. I don't know what that deal is all about. Like, I could sit here and talk about beauty gurus all day. And, like, we have to, like, everybody, like, you can either go through life resenting every person that you have, you know, any kind of disagreement with, or you can let that shit go, forgive them, move on, and be free, you know, and be healthy and living your best life. You know, I don't want to go through my life resenting and help. I know, Carrie, I was the same freaking way. And when I look back into my resentments, like the big ones I had, you know, the big ones, I'm talking like, okay, for instance, let me get real honest with you guys. When I was growing up, I always struggled with my weight, okay? And my dad used to say to me, you know, that if I didn't lose weight, that I was never going to get married, that no guy was going to want to marry me. And just listen to me, guys. My dad loves me more than life itself. But he's a bodybuilder, so he would always be talking about weight and health and all that kind of stuff, okay? So for him saying that to me was not him being mean or saying mean stuff. He was just saying, come on, girl, you got to get fit. You got to get fit. And he didn't know how to say it right, okay? So, growing up, when I first got sober, I would, like, play that. I had so much resentment towards my dad for, like, not helping me have confidence, not teaching me to be confident in myself. And like Carrie was saying, like, I relapsed over that shit so many times because a lot of my relapses and a lot of the reasons why I used were because of insecurity. And if we get down and dissect the reasons why we use drugs and alcohol and really think about it, because you guys, drugs and alcohol, those are the solution to our problems. Those are just symptoms of our, okay, so all the things that we did was like our negative consequences, you know? Sam said, hurting myself because I'm so angry. What? That's because, Sam, I feel like you have a lot of resentment towards yourself. And for you to get healthy, girl, you're going to have to start really looking inside you. Get with a therapist and talk to somebody about why you hate Sam. Why do you hate yourself? Why do you want to drink yourself to death? Why do you not think you're beautiful? Why do you feel like you have to do all these things to change your appearance? Girl, I know that you probably think I'm crazy, but I see your posts on Instagram. You're beautiful no matter what. You're beautiful no matter what. You don't have to exercise all day long to be skinny, to be beautiful. Okay? You don't have to look at yourself in the mirror and judge every part of you. You're beautiful no matter what. You're beautiful just being Sam. And until you can start believing that, then you're going to have struggles. You need to get with a therapist, girl, and start processing the shit out of what you're going through. And I'm not trying to, like, pinpoint you in the chat, but I know that you struggle a lot with your image. I know that drinking is easier than eating. And drinking doesn't have as many calories. And I know that you struggle with that. And it makes me so sad. Like, girl, it makes me so upset because, Sam, you're so beautiful. And you don't need any man. Like, that's the thing. You don't need a man. You don't need that boy that you're with. You don't need any of them. You need to be single and just start loving Sam for Sam. You know, it's hard. You guys, I can't even get on here and act like, so do I, Jen. I can't even act on here. I can't even get on here and act like I love myself all the time. You know what I mean? But I try. Yeah, George, I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Whenever I get off, I have to make you one on the, on my big computer. So just remind me after I hang up the chat. And I'll go downstairs and make you a mod. Yeah, I need hella fucking help with that, you guys. Because the trolls, they be coming out to play. But we don't just love ourselves overnight. Hey, Christy. It's a freaking process, okay? It's a process, you guys. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm literally just working on being confident in my own skin, okay? I'm just now getting to the point where, you know what? I'm a good person. I have a lot to offer.
Doggone it, people like me.
I know, right? Tabitha, I'll have to give it to you. Either you can get it from either me or my benzo help. You guys, here's the deal, okay? There's going to be people that, you know, they don't like us or we don't get along with. But those people aren't the majority. Okay. We all have something to offer, and that's the thing. Like, I used to think that I didn't have anything to offer. I was like, oh, well, I'm never going to be anything. I'm just going to die a drug addict. True story. Like, I just thought I was going to die with a needle in my arm, you know? And I didn't have any goals. I didn't have any aspirations, any dreams, any thoughts of anything more than just shooting dope, you know? But now it's like I actually have little goals and stuff. I have things like, I can't wait till Nate gets a little older and we start going to, like, soccer games and I get to be, like, I'm going to be the most bestest soccer mom ever, you know? And then when I start my classes, because I'm going to do, like, little workout classes and stuff soon, me and Neil were talking about getting me a gym membership so I can start dancing, because they have, like, little dance Zumba classes and stuff that I can do. And when I start getting fit, oh my gosh, then Nate, I want him to do little choreography classes. And it's all a process. Like, I'm not over here living my best life, loving myself. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I just love me. It's fucking hard. Like, there's days where I wake up and I'm like, God, I look like shit. You know, I don't love myself. Or I'm really, really, really hard on myself. Right. And here's the thing, like, my benzo hell, it's all fixing to get really real. And it's all these emotions are going to start flooding in. And you're going to go into this. I went into self-pity mode where I was like, I haven't done shit with my life. I'm never going to be anything, you know? And it was hard because I didn't realize, like, that all these emotions were going to start coming through now that I stopped doing drugs. But it does. And then you start thinking about how all you ever did was do dope and how you let down everybody. Ugh, I cry and cry. I still do have those moments. I call them my self-pity days where I just feel sorry for myself. You know what I mean? And I'm like, but we gotta pull ourselves up out of that. Emotional sobriety is whenever you can realize, like, hey, I'm having a bad day. I need to take a self-care day and process through that emotional shit. Because a lot of the times that emotional up and down will throw you off when you're in your recovery. Right. And we're not terrible people, you know what I mean? But we might feel like that at the time. Or we feel like we, you know, we must have done so much. Here's another thing about us drug addicts. We all think that we're so unique. Like, the term is terminally unique. Where I follow this one guy, and he's terminally unique. He always thinks, like, that he's tried everything that there is to try. You know what I mean? And that how do I say this without outing him? Well, he totally, like, moved states whenever he got sober. And he thinks that he's the only person that's ever moved states to get sober. And I'm like, dude, all of us addicts have tried geographical changes. It's just like you get to a point where you're like, this shit's not working anymore. And I have to really put in work to stay sober. Like, I have to wake up in the morning, you guys. Like, today I drove through the hood, right? I drove through the hood where the dope man's at. And I called Neil and I was like, I'm driving through the hood right now. And used to, I would have been triggered as fuck, you know, and I would have been like, you know, but no, like, today I actually make effort to stay sober and not go to the hood and get dope. Like, I drove through there, waved to the people I knew, and kept on going. You know what I mean? Like, I want to live my life right today. I want to be sober. I want to keep doing the next right thing. It feels good. It feels good doing the right thing. It feels good helping others. It feels good having you guys here and, like, talking about resentments and talking about how we don't have to harbor resentments for people in our lives anymore. Like, I don't want to carry that negative energy over into 2019 with me. Like, I am all about, you know, forgiving. Right. And a lot of the times what will happen is when we think that we're so unique and that, like, we haven't, that we've done everything, you know, that's what happens is when we stopped. It's like almost like we become unwilling to hear what other people are saying. It's like, you guys, when you're an addict, you've tried everything there is to try to get sober, you know? I know, Christy. Ours is the same way. Me and my sister, same way. But now that I've been sober for a little bit and people are seeing that I'm going to stay sober, people that knew me and my addiction, they're like, hey, you're not using. You know what I mean? Hey, Jen. Oh. You make me laugh so hard, girl. I love you to death. Jen is our little mascot for the chat. She's always coming in here. She's so positive and uplifting. I'm proud of you, girl. Trying to get rid of this double chin, you guys. Can y'all tell I'm losing weight? I'm working on it, you guys. Working on it. I really am. I don't have a bra on. Sorry. My tatas. Sorry, I'm taking my medicine. I'm not even the same person anymore. People don't get that. I'm a total homebody. I know. I wanted to come eat with you the other day when you were talking about making meatloaf and stuff. I was like, hell yeah. Such a good vibe. Such a good vibe. Yes, yes. And you guys, here's the deal. Like, I know we're all going to have bad days, you know, and y'all are entitled to have bad days. And if you're having a bad day, by all means, come into the stream and talk about it. That's what I want. The bigger the streams get, the harder it's going to be, you know. But thank you, Sam. Uh-oh. Somebody's calling. I'm going to let you guys go, okay? Love y'all.